Hi, it's Angie. Today I'm going to talk to you about fibromyalgia and sensory. What is sensory? It's the way we perceive what's coming in from the outside, what's affecting us, and how we feel. But right now I'm going to start out with sleeping and how we're affected with sleeping and insomnia. And then I'll mention some other things like noise and light and just the sense of feel in general, hot, cold, all of those things. But I'm going to start off with an example, like I said, about fibromyalgia and what is involved with falling asleep. I'm going to use the fairy tale, The Princess and the Pea. No, I'm not going to read to you again, but I am going to just give you a little sampling of what it's about. It's a fairy tale story about a princess and how she could feel everything, and they couldn't figure out why she couldn't sleep. She felt something like the size of a pea, and that's what kept her awake. Well, with fibromyalgia, we have the same problem. Not that we're all princesses, but we have the problem with feeling everything. And I'll give you more specifics. When we go to sleep, sometimes what keeps us awake is actually feeling the wrinkles in the sheets. What? You might find that a little surprising or unbelievable, but our skin can be so hypersensitive just neurologically because our wiring is on hyperdrive. And so, therefore, we're feeling things that we shouldn't really be feeling because we're in that hyper alert mode all the time. So when we're going to sleep, we're not filtering out what the sheets feel like or what the pillow feels like, or if we're warm or cold or if our feet are cold. We're not going to fall asleep feeling that. Most people would just start to filter it out and it's okay and go to sleep. But we feel everything, especially if we're going through a flare. I'll give you another example with sleeping. Sometimes I just can't get my pillow right. So I'm turning it, I'm twisting it, I'm flipping it, I'm squishing it, I'm fluffing it. I came up with all those pretty easily because this is not unusual. To the point where my husband is like, "What's going on over there?" He's a nice guy. So he'll say, "Are you okay?" And I'll say, "Yeah, I'm okay. I'm just trying to get comfortable." Then sometimes it's at the point where I have my face against the pillow and the pillow feels like there's just too much pressure against my face from the pillow. Yeah, that's a little extreme, but that's exactly how I feel. Is it something that most ordinary people feel? No. But there are a lot of disorders that do cause sensory issues where you can't filter out your environment. Another thing that drives me nuts and drives my husband nuts is the fact that my feet are like ice when I'm in the bed. And I didn't know that that had anything to do with fibromyalgia until a doctor once asked me, "Are your hands and feet cold?" And I said, "No," because I didn't remember. I don't know why. I guess because I was nervous, that white coat syndrome. But after leaving, like right after leaving, I said, "Why did I say no to my feet and hands being cold?" And my husband's like, "I don't know. I noticed that too." So, but yes, my hands and feet get cold. I can't get comfortable. I can't be happy until I fix it. Another thing is a suggestion while I'm on this subject. It is very important to wear comfortable night clothes. I mean, the most satiny, softest, smoothest, non tag ish thing you can find to put on. If you can wear something that doesn't have a tag at all, like it has that stamp instead of a tag, that's great. The soft pajamas in the wintertime that are just like stretchy and don't wrap around your legs, great. And speaking of no tags, it's a good idea to not have anything with tags because you know that little tag thing like I have right now that's bugging me? Um, you can't forget it. You can't ignore it. It's just that little scratchy, like somebody's taking a fingernail and lightly scratching the top of your back or the base of your neck continuously. Like that prickly little feeling doesn't go away until you get rid of the tag. So, now from some of my videos, some of you know that I have issues with sewing because you have to start all over again, take something out, that kind of stuff. Well, with a tag, if you want to remove it, you are better off not ruining your garment by taking the little nylon thread that also pokes you in your neck or back out of the tag and remove the tag. Don't do like me and try to get as close to that line as possible. I have lots of clothes that have like two little teeny holes in the back. With those clothes, I have to wear a ponytail or a scarf that has an end hiding it. So I'm laughing about it now, but you know what? When you're trying to sleep, none of that's funny. And speaking of sensory overload, extra lights are bothersome. Bright lights, like the one that's pointing at me now, bothersome. Hot for a lot of people, cold for me, which I spoke about before. Your shoes, if they're not right, if your feet hurt. If our feet hurt, it feels like we're being tortured, like back in the old days, you know. Yeah, it's really bad. So we have to kind of treat ourselves like princesses, us women, or princes if you're a man and you have fibromyalgia, and really be particular about clothing and other things that affect our environment. Sometimes I'll tell my husband, please, could you just turn that light off? Could you just turn it off? I'm so serious about it. Which reminds me, today we were going somewhere in the car and we rode and we have a pretty decent, like, heavyweight car. It's not a real lightweight car. And we were bumping, you know, because the road was a country road. So it had, like, it's not a smooth road. I felt like I was in a covered wagon on an unpaved street. It was really getting to me, to the point where by the time we got to our destination, I said, you know what? Give me 5 minutes. I have to recuperate first before I get out of the car. So, crazy sounding. I don't look crazy. I don't think I am. Well, maybe a little. But that's fibromyalgia. And that's a lot of illnesses that people can't see and they don't hear about, but I'm here to tell you about it. So if you need to express some of these things to your best friend or your hubby, boyfriend, mom, sister, brother, and you figure they're not going to understand it hearing it from you, go ahead, share this. As a matter of fact, hit subscribe so you don't miss any of my other videos. And I do have painting videos. You can paint along with me. I really try to protect us from overdoing it. I take little breaks when I paint, and instead of using a blow dryer, I say this is potty break time or stretch time. So you know, find some of my videos and paint along with me. You can also find me on Facebook. I have a Facebook group called Painting with Fibromyalgia. It was great talking with you. You have a good rest of the day.